Hey guys, I'm Comeback Craig, and today we're doing a story on a former Fayetteville VA pathologist that was sentenced to 20 years in prison. The Office of Inspector General popped this guy. He committed fraud, mail fraud. He also got caught drinking at work and involuntary manslaughter. So it's. I'm glad that they got this guy. Obviously, a veteran was killed in the process. That's horrible. But they removed him finally. But the way they went about it, like they popped him for drinking, and then they give him some kind of whatever test or something like that, and it's like, oh, I promise not to be drunk at work anymore, and they let him back in. Like, what do you think's going to happen when you're dealing with a drug addict and an alcoholic? Like, they're supposed to be working for us and protecting us and looking out for us. Like, these guys can't be like all hammered at work and stuff like that. So there's we'll go into this story. This stuff just infuriates me. I do these stories, and somebody in the comments is like, just stay the hell away from the VA because their doctors suck, and I totally agree with it. But that's not the point of telling these stories, and that's not the point of the VA Veterans Health Administration. Like, they work for us. This system is supposed to work for us. Our solution shouldn't be community care and run from the VA as far as you can and fast as you can. It should be these doctors need to get compliant and get on the same page with us. But obviously, that's not the case in all cases. I'm struggling currently in my current VA. I like the one that I was at in the state before in Montana better. And you get used to dealing with this doctors and their bullshit, and the way they, like, one doctor says one thing, you go to some other VA and they're saying a whole different thing, like the opposite. It makes no sense. And then you look at what both doctors said, and it's like, you guys are complete jackasses, and you're sitting there in the middle trying to figure out which doctor's info is better. And they're like, doctors. It's supposed to be like doctor's orders. Just pisses me off. Anyway, let's get into it. So this guy was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for mail fraud and involuntary manslaughter. His name is Robert Morris Levy. He was hired in 1997 till his termination in 2018. He was reported in 2015 for under the influence. He denied the allegations. They're really good at denying. They deny our claims, deny our conditions, downplay everything. So he's an expert at this. 2016, he appeared intoxicated again, so somebody was watching him, and then they gave him a BAC, and he tested positive. So they suspended him, removal and revocation of clinical privileges due to unprofessional conduct related to high blood alcohol content while on duty. In July 2016, this guy voluntarily enters a 3-month inpatient program, and he completed that in October of that year. Toward the end of the agreement, he goes and renegotiates with the Mississippi State Board and is like, hey, I promise not to be a drunk drug addict, and I want to go back to work. And I don't know, obviously he's getting paid and he can afford a lawyer, and they worked out some agreement, and boom, this dude's back in the Fayetteville VA. So he said he would have to provide urine specimens and blood samples, and he passed those, but he did test positive for 2-methyl-2-butanol, 2M, 2B. I never heard of that before. Some kind of substance that helps you achieve a state of intoxication. And it's a way to skirt the system. So you're like another way to get high legally or drunk legally or something. Again, I don't really know too much about it. I'm just giving you the flavor of the story here. So this guy does a wrong diagnosis, gives the veteran a wrong diagnosis. The government, after they investigated him, they find out that it was incorrect. And they also found out that he made patently false entry into the veteran's medical record. I tell you, this stuff happens. They do this willy-nilly almost. It's sloppy. Get your claims file. Like, you will go in and see inaccurate information in your claims file, and it's like, holy shit, I can't believe that's actually in writing. So if you don't call that out, They're just generating paperwork and files all over the place. I have no clue what they do. You know, if they're doing an investigation, they're going to find it. They make all sorts of little things that'll screw your claim up if you're building medical evidence at the VA. Unfortunately, this wrong diagnosis left this veteran in a situation where he was getting the wrong kind of treatment, and he died of small cell carcinoma, and he received no treatment to prolong his life because of the lack of correct diagnosis. So the OIG, you know, they say they're to work with dedicated VA OIG agents to achieve this conviction and sentence. Unfortunately, this is a process. So VA employees, fellow veterans, if you smell alcohol on your doctor, report his ass and follow up, especially if you're the veteran, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes because there's zero transparency. You guys that actually work there and you doctors that know these guys are running around drinking at work, report these guys. It is your duty to do this. And it's our duty to follow up on you guys. We're supposed to be in there getting like checked out for broken stuff and cancer, and we're dying, right? But now we have to actually watch you guys smell your breath for alcohol and wonder what kind of drugs you're on and how you're skirting the system and bullshitting it. So I'm getting a little heated up here. This is pretty much the end of the article. I'll leave you a link to this one in the description. And bottom line, another shitty VA doctor removed from the system. So that's good. Unfortunately, I'm sure he touched a lot of veterans, and one of them died because of his wanting to be all hammered at work. So I'll see you in the next video.